It's Halloween here on the Theater 13 podcast with Doug, Aaron, and Jacob. And today, unfortunately, we're reviewing Halloween. This movie sucks ass. All right, proceed.
It does not suck ass. This movie does not suck ass.
It's terrible.
It does not suck ass.
I could have made this movie. No cap.
Literally could not have.
I could record this movie with my iPhone right now.
No.
Yes. This movie sucks. Proceed.
This movie does not suck. Like Doug said, we're going to be talking about Halloween. 1978 original movie, not the 2018 sequel that goes by the same exact name. This movie, made by John Carpenter, also the creator of movies like The Thing, that we're watching in this movie, so he gets a free little shout out to his own movie there. Starring Jamie Lee Curtis, I believe in her first role, and instantly in this movie you can tell she's the best actress in this fucking movie. Everybody else kind of sucks. It also has Donald Pleasant.
The acting is fucking terrible.
I mean, it's like a low budget horror movie acting, so
Michael Myers' doctor isn't too bad. Everybody else sucks.
That's Donald Pleasance. Rest in peace. He is no longer with us.
Also, Jamie Lee Curtis is all right as well.
She's good, bro. Everybody else, the girl who plays Lindsay, the girl who plays Annie, the guy who plays the sheriff, they're not Oscar-winning performances. I don't want to say they're bad. They're professional actors and actresses.
They're fucking trash.
But you can feel the difference with Jamie Lee on the screen with these actors and actresses. This movie does have a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. So take that what you will. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes isn't a exact score kind of thing. Like, you can't just take it wholeheartedly. That's what everybody thinks it is. But everybody consensus agrees that Halloween is one of the most influential horror movies of all time. Maybe not the best. I'm kind of indifferent about it. I don't think it's bad by any means, but I don't necessarily think it's amazing. I like what it does.
It's 96% from critics and 89% from normal people.
But both those are good, respectable scores.
Correct.
I think they're a little high. I think people might hung up a bit in the nostalgia of it.
Empire Strikes Back has a 94 from critics. I'm gonna be sick. I'm
you're not gonna like
physically
this.
ill right now.
I'm not gonna like this, but I don't think the acting is much worse in this movie than it is in Empire Strikes Back.
Excuse me?
I mean, the Empire Strikes Back acting is fine. It's nothing to marvel at.
They had a better budget.
And they had a better budget.
Budget for Halloween was $300,000. It grossed $70 million.
Bro, any movie that gets made for $300,000 and makes $70 million, just shut the fuck up about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you think it's bad, my God, they made this movie for nothing.
That, Doug.
Yeah. Like I said, I could have recorded this movie with my iPhone, so.
I mean,
and the quality and
like
the picture quality would have been better.
Probably this shit was from 1978, dog.
I know. So my movie would have been better.
Oh yes, as we know, picture quality determines strength of movie.
The acting would have been better. The plot.
Oh, what's wrong with the plot? There's nothing wrong with the plot in this movie. Let's go ahead and roll into this a little bit. The first thing you get are opening credits. Straight up opening credits. We don't get a whole lot of these in movies anymore. A lot of times you get like either credits with like a scene going on, but these are just black screen credits. You get a little pumpkin. I don't know. You guys know this. This is a pretty well-known fact, but if you look at the pumpkin in the intro, the right eye to us, the left eye on the pumpkin, and the nose are Michael Myers holding a knife. I don't know if you
Wow.
did catch that or not.
Yes.
It's like a little hidden thing. It's pretty cool. It's a slow zoom on the Halloween theme song. Everybody should be familiar with. If you're not looking up, it is
The best part of this movie by
magnificent.
far.
Pretty fucking good. They use it a lot though. Pretty much anytime Mike Myers comes on the fucking screen, they pop that theme song open.
It carries
So
the
that was-
entire movie.
It was also created by John Carpenter.
Yeah, I think he was like the director, and also he did music. He did music on a lot of things. So the first opening scene, it's Halloween night in 1963. It's a cool like POV shot outside of a house, looking on two people in a little mac on with each other. I believe it starts in the like by the stairs, and they take it to the couch, you know.
Mhm.
And this little peeping tom where we are, the eyes of is watching through the windows, and the dude's like, "Hey, let's take this upstairs," you know. So she's like, "Okay." And then they go upstairs, and it follows this person. We are the person walking around the back, through the door, all the good stuff. I counted. Because I've heard that this scene is notoriously short.
One pump chump.
This man stays in upstairs for like a total of like 54 seconds before he comes back downstairs. I don't know if they actually got to it or if he was like, let's do this, and then interrupted and he had to go or something, but 54 seconds? I had to pump those numbers up, kid.
Not impressed.
So it goes up the stairs after he leaves, and it walks in on this girl sitting at a vanity, brushing her hair. And this is after the little camera puts on a mask over it. So you only see the eye holes now of the mask. And you get a classic POV stabbing shot. This girl gets maybe stabbed. I don't know. For whatever reason, the camera looks somewhere else while it's happening. When it comes back to her, she's all bloody on the floor.
There's also like
He's-
no stabbing noise. She's like not screaming. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, no.
She's like, ah,
It's-
ah.
Like one of the worst scenes in a movie I've ever seen.
Okay, chill out,
Wow.
bro. It wasn't fantastic. I don't know about worst scene I've ever seen.
He was looking at the knife. Making sure his form was good.
I mean,
I mean,
Relax.
you could make a better stabbing scene in fucking English class in high school, bro.
yeah, I'll admit that this isn't a perfect scene or anything, but it's not the worst I've ever fucking seen.
What's worse?
But goes outside, follows him outside, and then he sees two older people, two adults, walking up and like, "What are you fucking doing?" And that's when you get your first shot of this kid standing outside of his house, holding a knife, who had stabbed his sister to death.
Little 6-year-old Michael.
It's not nice. It's not a nice thing to do.
Yeah, I agree. It's not something you should be doing as a 6-year-old.
Probably not.
But then it cuts to October 30th, 1978. So current day when this movie was made. It's raining as fuck. Got these two people, this older man, a bitchin' goatee dude, and this woman, I guess she's a nurse. She's dressed like a nurse who's driving this car. Driving up to the Illinois State Hospital. She's asking him all these questions about, the person they're supposed to be, I guess, picking up, watching leave. I don't know what they're doing. And he's, Donald Pleasance. His name in this movie is Dr. Sam Loomis. Loomis saying that he hasn't spoke in 15 years. but at the same time, that gets really fucking scary. So don't underestimate, how dangerous he is. This girl's fucking. She's nervous. She's chain smoking in this car, and she's like, "If he's so bad, why do you want him out?" And he's like, "I don't want him out. I want him to fucking die, but they won't let me kill him."
Is that what happens?
Basically, he doesn't necessarily say I want him to die, but he says that he doesn't want him to ever get out because he has seen how like pure evil he is, and that's a big thing in these movies. Is Michael is he's just pure evil, man. He's not a human. He's just some embodiment of this bad juju. And when they pull up to this prison, there's just a bunch of people walking around in fucking nightgowns. They're in their hospital wear, walking around in the rain. Gates busted open, and some dude climbs at the back of the car, spider monkey style, and reaches through the front window and just like rubs this girl's face.
It was erotic.
Scary. Then she this the plot hole. Halloween canceled. She drives forward and then instantly jumps over to the passenger seat. Does not put this car in park. Car would be rolling. It's perfectly still. Anyway, she jumps over to the passenger seat. Person on top of the car, like, open hand slaps this window and it breaks. I don't think it's easy. I've never broken a window before, but in Fast and Furious, Vin Diesel has to do it with his elbow. Vin Diesel's a pretty good big guy, so I'm just assuming it's tough.
You definitely can't do it by slapping it.
I guess that shows how strong this guy is.
I mean, everybody's seen the clips online where a police officer busts out his baton and has to hit it like 4 times.
It just shows you how strong this guy is. He just untap 5-star palms this fucking window and shatters it. And the shatter, it breaks. And she jumps out of the car. Guy slithers into the front seat. It's the gas, no brakes, and he's out.
How does he know how to drive? Is my question.
That's a good question.
They address it later.
What?
Yeah.
Later in the movie, the cop asks him, he's like, dude, we're like 50 miles away. Unless you learn how to drive. And Sam Lewis is like, well, he did learn how to drive. Somebody must have taught him in there.
What?
You don't remember that?
You just get to learn how to drive when you're locked up?
I don't know. I don't know how he learned. I don't know if he's a good driver, but I mean, I could probably explain to somebody how to drive a car, and they could probably do it. Michael's not stupid. I mean, like, a lot of these other horror movie villains, like Jason, they're just kind of like these big ogre dudes who just go around killing people. But Michael's not stupid. Like, Michael is an intelligent being. I'm sure if somebody explained to him how to drive and he got behind the wheel, he could figure out how to work this car, at least enough to get to a city. I mean, later he is kind of whipping it around in the city. That one might be a little unbelievable. I could believe him being able to do it.
How does somebody explain to you how to drive when you don't talk back to them?
I don't know, pictures.
Nod your head.
But weirdly, right here, you kind of see his face. It's like a weird like side shot, and that kind of like threw me off because a big thing in these movies is you never get to see his face. I was kind of shocked at how much you see of him in this first movie. I mean, like, even in this new movie, Halloween Kills, that just came out, it's like a big deal. She wants to like unmask him and shit. But in this one, you see his face like 3 times. It's weird as fuck.
Yeah, they're just making shit up, bro.
What do you mean?
In the new movies, they're just making shit up.
Oh, I think it's a thing in all of these movies. I haven't seen all the Halloween movies because there's a lot of them. But I'm pretty sure it's a thing in most of these movies. Is like you don't unmask him. He just doesn't become unmasked. It's weird. Like Batman.
I mean, his mask literally comes off in this movie, so.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is like it's weird how. And this is with a lot of movies that have a first movie that's successful that maybe didn't plan on having sequels to it, but since it was so successful, because this Halloween movie was supposed to be a one-off. Like, he was supposed to not have a second movie. The creators of Halloween wanted to do anthology movies. So every year or so, they would release a new Halloween movie. It wouldn't be Michael Myers. Like the third Halloween movie is called Season of the Witch. It doesn't have anything to do with Michael Myers. Only made a second Halloween that has to do with Michael Myers because everybody loved this movie so much they demanded it. And after they made the second one, they're like, okay, now we're going to do what we want to do and make Season of the Witch. Everybody hated it because Michael Myers wasn't in it, so they had to go back to that. The studio forced them to. So originally, Michael Myers wasn't supposed to have extra movies after this. I feel like that happens a lot with movies that aren't planning on having sequels, where they have a first movie establishes some rules, and then the sequels expand on that, and maybe sometimes they contradict the first movie a little bit. Paranormal Activity kind of got back to that whole, they're sequels to their movies. They're trying to expand on a demon that they clearly set premises up in the first movie for.
So how does it work when you know you're going to have a trilogy and then none of it makes sense?
It's just bad writing.
Yeah, this is bad, right? If you are planning a trilogy and you still fuck it up.
Huh. That's weird. At Disney. At Lucasfilm.
It also doesn't help they changed directors. The last one.
It also doesn't help that they're working with a story that is so big as big as Star Wars is. It's very hard to come, 10+ years later and make a sequel trilogy, one of the most important trilogies in film history. You know what I'm saying? But they did fuck it.
Anyways, we're not here to talk about Star Wars.
Fortunately. It cuts to young Jamie Lee Curtis. She's looking really young in this movie.
He's 20.
She's 20 years old when this is filmed?
Yep.
At this point in my notes, I was already writing things down like, I don't really care for this movie. It hasn't done anything for me yet, but I kind of like something about it. There's something about this movie that I kind of like. She's a babysitter, and she's planning on babysitting tonight, which is the night of Halloween now. We get to see the Myers house after so many years. Parents moved away or whatever, and it's been abandoned, and it's all kinds of fucked up. And as she's putting the key under the mat, you get a POV shot from inside, and there's Michael standing behind the door, just out of view, and you hear his crazy fucking breathing. And then you cut to a scene where Loomis is coming out of, I believe, a police station, and he's talking to the sheriff. And this is where they address the car thing. I have it in my notes where the cop is like, "How the fuck would he get here?" Loomis is like, "I don't know. I guess he learned how to drive," kind of thing. And it cuts back to Jamie Lee Curtis in class, and I thought, interestingly, the teacher's teaching kind of about fate and destiny, which is a kind of a thing here. In these,
I just want to point out that I knew Aaron was going to say something about this before we recorded. So proceed.
Oh, you're catching my tendencies. What I pay attention to.
I was listening to this part too, and then I was like, it literally doesn't apply to this movie. It's fucking waste of time.
It kind of does.
Nope.
Nope. Michael.
Nope.
I think that they purposely put this in here because Michael is fated to come back to this house, and Emily is fated to be intertwined in that, and it kind of gets explored in the sequels, but it depends on what canon you go with. If you pay attention to the entire storyline and not just what the new movies want you to look at one point, Michael is in a fucking cult, and Jamie Lee is his sister at one point. So maybe not a lot in this first movie is fate to do with it, but throughout the series, fate is kind of a theme. I thought they put it in there on purpose. I don't know if it means a lot or not. But as she's teaching this, she looks out the window and she sees the car that Loomis was driving in the beginning, and Michael Myers is standing out beside it, in broad daylight, in a mask.
It is Halloween.
I feel like even at Halloween, a grown adult standing out by a car outside of a school with a mask on is going to raise some eyebrows.
Yeah, but you gotta think, this is in the 70s. They're different back then.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'll get to that later. There's a line in here that is the weirdest fucking line I've ever heard. We'll get there. After that, some kids are bullying another kid named Tommy that is Jamie Lee's babysitting. The kid she's babysitting. And they're all teasing him about how the boogeyman's gonna come. And they trip him and he smashes his pumpkin. I feel bad for this kid. And as the other bullies walk off, they round a corner and they run into Michael Myers. And you get a fucking crazy music cue. It's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It sounds like somebody pounds on a fucking synth, dude. It's like, and it cuts to Loomis outside of in the middle of a fucking field in a phone booth, and he's calling to somebody. I believe the sheriff of the town. And after he's done, he sees this car just like sitting off in the ditch that he definitely should have seen before, like right in his eyesight, but whatever. And he finds, hospital clothing there, and he doesn't see him, but he walks off, and it kind of rolls over a little bit, and in the bushes beside the truck is a naked dude. So presumably that's where Michael got his jumpsuit from.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, random dude.
But Loomis doesn't find that. It cuts back to Lori, who is Jamie Lee Curtis's character, walking home with her two friends named Linda and Annie, who are significantly worse actresses than Jamie Lee. And
facts.
I think this is what you're talking about, right, Doug? By the bad acting, like these two characters specifically.
Oof.
Compared to Jamie Lee, their performances are not the same. And they're having what I assume is high school girl talk about boyfriends and stuff like that. And there's a dance tomorrow. They are all planning to go to.
I also just gonna point out real quick, it might not even be their fault. It could just be that the dialogue is written this fucking poorly.
I don't know what they were going for. They might have been trying to go for like cliche high school girl dialogue, because that's what it is. It is like if their whole intent was to get them to act like high school girls, mission accomplished.
Poorly act like high school girls.
Yeah, and as they're walking home, Lori is not going to go to this dance, and she forgets one of her books. She's like, I got to go back for my book, and the other girl's like, no, fuck your books. And so it's establishing here what has now become known as the final girl trope, where Lori, I believe, is the first real final girl in a film.
Yes.
Doug, I don't know if you're familiar with the final girl trope, but basically the main actress in your movie, the one that's going to survive to the end and probably beat the killer. They don't always beat the killer, but most likely doesn't have sex, doesn't do drugs, doesn't drink. She's like innocent, intelligent person.
Like Scream.
Yeah, Scream is heavily playing on that trope. Heavily.
Kind of Alien.
Yeah, Ripley definitely has some of that in her.
There's no sex in the first Alien movie, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Ripley's a little older than what a final girl would come to be. Those are typically Laurie's age. I think Ripley's was like in her mid to late 20s in that movie. Not like in her teens, but either way, Laurie was considered widely as one of the first. So they're setting this up from this point on that she's the smart girl. She needs to go back and get her book. She's not going to the dance, blah, blah, blah. Recently, though, later she does smoke a joint. As they're talking about this, car drives by real slow, and this is actually a pretty funny image. It's Michael Myers driving by, and he just kind of like turns his whole body and looks at them with this mask on, driving by real slow. And he speeds up, and Annie, her curly brunette-headed friend, yells at him. He's like, "Hey, speed kills," or something like that. And he slams on his brakes. Is this the whole reason he comes after them?
No.
Do we know why he comes after them?
I think it's just because he sees Lori at his old house. So he starts following her. He's like, oh, these like stupid girls. I'm gonna kill them all. It's his thing.
Interesting.
Well, he obviously went after her because it was fate and destiny.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to that.
Suck my nuts.
Right after this, one of the girls, I believe it's Lindsay, has this fucking great line. I hate a guy with a car and no sense of humor. No, it's Annie. Annie sends that. I hate a guy with a car and no sense of humor. Roasted.
Doesn't even make sense.
Annie is
No.
also the sheriff's daughter.
Yes. After all these girls walk off, and after she sees Michael Myers again standing behind a bush, she bumps into the sheriff, who is Annie's dad. I mean, they don't really ever say that until later, but
Yeah.
I guess you're supposed to get it right here. That's her dad. He's a sheriff. And when on their walk home, Annie's pestering her about, not asking guys out or going to the dance. And, she says right here, guys think I'm too smart. Classic girl shit.
Here's a lesson for all ladies listening to our podcast. If you like a dude, just go up to him and say, I like you. And then he'll be like, oh, cool. I like you too. Also, she's the best looking one in her friend group. So just saying.
I don't think so.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
She's fine. I mean, they're all fine, I guess, but just
Oh, which is the best of the three? Let's hear it.
Oh boy, probably Lindsay
God help me.
or Linda, not Lindsay. Probably Linda, and then Lori, and then Annie. Annie's just fucking annoying.
You got that right.
But after she gets home, she sees some trick or treaters running around, and she goes up to her room and she's looking out the window, and Michael Myers is standing out in the sheets. They're blown on the line to get dry. It cuts from him to her face, and she never makes eye contact with him. Then it cuts back, he's gone, and it cuts back to her, and she's like, "Where'd he go? Did he fucking teleport?" She's staring at the same spot, and then cuts back and he's gone, and then she acts like he just vanished. So I put in the call right now. Michael Myers can teleport. Oh, the phone rings. Nobody's there. And the phone rings again. It's Annie, who
Annoying bitch.
calls her. She's like smacking her gum. She's like, "Didn't you hear me smacking my gum?" And she's like, "I thought it was an obscene phone call." I'm like, Lori, how many of these do you get? Is this a normal thing? Your best friend's dad is the sheriff of the town. He should definitely look into that. It cuts now to Loomis driving to the cemetery to see Judith Myers, who is sister that he killed. I don't think you get her name in the beginning, but
She's dead.
Her name's Judy.
She got killed.
She did get killed, stabbed. Cause of death, penetration via knife.
I think she liked it because she wasn't screaming.
They roll up. This old man is telling a story He's like, yeah, this happens. This happens everywhere. Like last year in the town over, a guy was at dinner with his family. Kissed them all bye, walked into the garage, grabbed a hatchet, walked back in, and fucking chopped him up. Like, God. But this, I believe, this is to initiate this idea that it could be any city, any town, anywhere that somebody just snaps and becomes a murderer. And that's a big theme in this whole thing. Is like, yeah, there have been some precursors of horror movies that are like genre movies. Alien that establishes, a lot of things in horror, and like Texas Chainsaw that establishes a lot of things in horror. This is the first movie where the killer is not like somewhere else that you wouldn't be. Like, he's not in space. He's not in post-apocalyptic Texas that you have to drive to him. And this movie is like the first one where the killer is in a suburb where it could be anybody that happens to. I think this line is made like that to get this feeling installed in you that Michael Myers could be anybody, could happen to anybody.
Wow.
But when they get to Judith's grave, they find it's been dug up. Somebody. So what's the word?
Well,
Remove the
her
tombstone.
grave hasn't been dug up. They just took the tombstone.
Is that what that was? I thought the
Yeah.
whole grave was up.
Nope.
It looked weird to me, but I couldn't tell if it was just the tombstone or the whole thing.
Just a tombstone.
After this tombstone is gone, they cut to Michael Myers trailing Annie in the car. She's also in a car, and she's going to pick up Lori, who she successfully picks up. And they're driving around, and they're smoking a joint in the car. And as they're driving around, they see her dad up in front of a building. So they drive up to the building. The dad comes over. The dad, tells them, "Yeah, it's a hardware store. Somebody broke in. They took a knife, rope, some Halloween mask. I don't know why the Halloween masks are being sold in the hardware store. Whatever, just roll with it."
Yeah, I just got some seasonal items there by the register.
They roll off, and Loomis pulls up, wanting to talk to the sheriff. The sheriff's like, "Yeah, that'll be a couple minutes," and he's like, "Okay." In the background, Michael Myers is just sitting there at a red light. He's like looking at them, and then he just casually pulls away. Loomis doesn't see him. He starts trailing Annie again. Lori gets dropped off at the house that she's babysitting, and then Annie pulls into her house that she's babysitting at. And Michael Myers gets out of his car and starts kind of like stalking around. It's getting dark now, by the way, too. Then Loomis goes to the Myers house, and outside, they bust in the house, and in this first room, they find a dog. They're like, "Yeah, there's a dead dog here." And then Loomis is like, "Guess he got hungry." Motherfucker eats dogs.
That's
Man.
disgusting.
I get your strength somewhere.
He eats dogs raw too, man. Like, he didn't even cook it.
Ugh.
He's a rare kind of guy.
Well, at this point, he says this isn't a man, so I guess he's not a guy at all.
It's an acquired taste.
Of evil. They go upstairs and fucking like gutter busts something and like it breaks the window. Loomis just pulls a strap out and like points it at the window. And the sheriff's like, but you can't just be pulling a gun out. It's like, "Oh, it's cool. I have a permit. It's cool." Loomis goes off into the speech.
If I was fucking with Michael Myers, I'd have a strap too.
I think Loomis is warranted as to what happens later. So Loomis goes into the speech about how 15 years ago was whenever he, met him, and he could tell that there was nothing left in this 6-year-old boy. He was emotionless. He had the blackest eyes that he's ever seen. He called them the devil's eyes. He tried for 8 years to reach him, treat him like a normal person and get through to him. And then he realized that that's not going to work. This dude is pure evil. So they took the next 7 years trying to keep him locked up. And Loomis is definitely anti-Michael in this movie. I'm pretty sure it's an odd sight kind of situation. This is going to run the fade on Michael. But Loomis is going to stay there and wait for him to come back home. And the cop's going to go out and start telling his cop buddies to keep an eye out for Michael.
Their plan is sketchy at best.
I don't really... You can barely call it a plan. It's just... I tell the cops to look out for people, and Loomis is just going to stay here and see if he comes back. Very proactive.
It's not ideal.
Cuts to Lori and Tommy, who's her kid. She's babysitting, asking about like the boogeyman and stuff, which is one of his nicknames. And he calls, and she's talking to Lori, and the dog, the guy German Shepherd, comes up beside her and starts barking at something. Mean as shit too. Like, this dog is not just like barking at shit; he's in like kill mode. And
It's a good doggo.
And he's like, "Hey,
barking at the bad guy.
Dog. Get this dog. He doesn't like me." But I'm like, dude, that dog doesn't sound like he doesn't like you. He wants to fucking kill you. It's aggressively barking. But he stops barking and goes outside, and he's still talking. So Tommy, Lori's kid, looks outside the window and sees Michael Myers standing outside the house. He's freaking the fuck out. He's going to tell Lori that, hey, there's some fucking dude. And at this point, Michael Myers is now closer than he was before. I guess he gets like to the doorway, and he's standing in the kitchen. She spills something on herself. I don't know what it is, but she feels the desire to take all of her clothes off when that happens. I hate when I drop of water and have to strip completely naked. Just because. So as that's happening, as she's stripping, the dog comes outside, starts barking at Michael, and then it does a little flash cut, and Michael is now air hugging this dog. He kills it. Michael kills a full-grown German Shepherd, the bear hug. After he kills this dog, Annie takes her clothes out to this garage that I guess is the laundry room for this house, and Michael Myers is still trailing her. She thinks it's Paul, who she invited over to do nefarious things with.
They were going to have sex.
Presumably. If she's inside this garage, the door shuts by itself and locks from the inside. Does it lock from the outside? I don't know how this door fucking works. It apparently locks from the outside because she can't get out from the inside. And, another marker here. Michael Myers, maybe magic, because he gets this door just to magically shut and lock.
Magic confirmed.
She decides she's going to crawl through the window. And
is this the original someone got stuck in the laundry room?
Bro, yeah, she gets stuck. I've definitely seen this scene before, bro, hanging out the window.
I'm stuck, step bro.
He's stuck in this windowsill. And Paul calls, and this little girl who she's babysitting runs out there to tell her, and she's like, hey, help me. And the girl walks through the fucking door, but has to unlock from the outside, which seems very wrong for a door to the outside to lock from the outside, but whatever.
Yeah, it don't make sense.
And she helps Annie get free. Michael Myers is still kind of like behind her in this window, but he doesn't kill her yet. And she talks to Paul, and Paul's like, hey, bitch, come over. And so she's like, yeah, no problem. She decides she's going to take the little girl and
she's going to hop in the bins.
She rolls out of this house pantsless, runs across the street, pantsless, drops his kid off, and then gets in the car, still pantless, to drive and pick Paul up.
She doesn't need pants for what she's doing.
Free balling him, bro. So she walks up to this car, the fucking whip in the garage. The door's locked, so she's like, fuck, I gotta get the keys. Which, but she needed the keys anyway to drive, but whatever. She goes to get the keys, and when she comes back, door's now unlocked. She doesn't think anything of it. Jumps in. The windows, the car's all foggy. That scene from Titanic. You know what scene I'm talking about, Jacob?
Oh yeah, that scene from Titanic, bro, with the handprint on the window. Woo.
So this is less hot to watch. Same intensity though.
Yeah.
Michael Myers jumps from the back seat, puts her in the chokehold, and she
The
slowly and
strangulation hold.
unconvincingly
Bro,
dies.
people die fucking weird in this movie. I don't know what to tell you.
As she's getting put out, he pulls the knife out and gives her a little slice, and that's it. She's fucking dead.
Stab, stab.
Tommy sees him again, walking around the house. This kid's never been wrong in his life. Just saying. It cuts now to the Myers house. There's a funny scene where Bonnie, one of the bullies, is getting dared by the other bullies to go up to the Myers house. And Loomis is still there, hanging outside in the bushes. Kid walks up to the house, and Loomis is like, Bonnie, get your ass away from there. And this kid's like, oh shit, and books it off this porch.
I'd do the same shit. I'd be fucking out of there. Big time.
The sheriff walks up.
So he scared them and then got scared. Little bitch.
The cop is like, bro, we haven't seen anything. Are you sure this guy's out killing people? He's like, yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure he's out there murdering people in the community right now. And the cop's like, I guess we'll find out. If you're right, damn you for letting him go. Like, this guy does not have enough intensity for somebody to be running around killing people in his hood.
Yeah, he's just that little town sheriff. He's like, fuck, I don't want to do anything. It's like, wow, I don't know why I can't remember the character's name, but the sheriff from Stranger Things.
Hopper?
Yeah, just like Hopper. It's like, fuck, trying to eat my donuts. Come into the office around 12.
And it's the life.
Ooh.
So it cuts now to Linda. And you get the I don't know if you guys caught this, the weirdest line in this entire movie.
I did not.
Borderline criminal. And by borderline, I mean it's criminal. She's talking to Bob, the little boy toy, and they're drinking in a car. She's like, all right, here's the plan. Go inside, pick up Annie or whatever, and then we'll go up to the room, we'll bang, and he's like, oh, okay, I got the plan. First we'll go in. I'll rip your clothes off. Then you rip my clothes off. And then we rip Lindsay's clothes off.
Yeah,
Who the fuck Lindsay is?
It's the kid.
The child. Bob is a pedophile.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird.
He needs to die.
And she laughs it off. The only explanation is back in this time, pedophiles weren't well known, and so it was more of a joke. Now, living in the life we live now, pedophiles are now a very well-known threat. So it's not a joke anymore for us, but my god, this line is fucking weird.
Like I said, people from Hollywood are fucking weird.
Yeah, Bob needs to be put down. Bad dog.
Hey,
Yeah,
go in the house.
Get him the fuck out of here.
Go in the house and start kissing. Or macking on each other again. Michael Myers is just watching. Is Michael Myers a cuck?
He loves to watch.
Michael Myers is a cuckold.
Well, you're not really getting cucked if it's not your girl.
I feel like Michael would be into it, bro.
Well, he needed her to get banged to complete his ritual. So when he kills her, it's just like when he killed his sister.
I think that's kind of his whole thing is like teenagers going to and or having sex must die.
Yeah. He sees the boobs, you're dead for.
My god, dude. Just some titties, relax. Michael Myers is the only man in history that doesn't love some tits. So
I think we're desensitized to tits because we live in a world where we can see tits at the fucking
probably.
speed of light. Back then, if you saw a tit, it was like, my god.
Where were we? Oh, that's
Uh,
right. Bob and Linda were getting it on.
Yeah, well, they start getting in on the couch, and then he calls Lori and she's looking for Annie, but Annie obviously isn't there. And they hang up, and then it cuts to them in some random person's bed,
It's the parents.
in the parents' bed of his house. I don't know whose house this is.
This is Lindsay's house.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, Lindsay. I keep thinking Linda. Yeah, it's in Lindsay's house, in her parents' bed, banging. Michael Myers gets his sex alarm go off, and he shows up to get cucked. And this dude also is like a pump chump dude. Takes him like 45 seconds to finish. And then Bob is like, yeah, go get me a beer. And she's like, no, bitch, you get me a beer. And he's like, okay.
Big mistake.
Linda's the alpha in this relationship.
That's right. Go get my beer, bitch.
And
So
when
now we finally get rid of Pedo Bob.
Oh, yes.
Thank God.
The best fucking kill in this movie.
he goes downstairs and the back door's open. It opens by itself.
I know, he's got powers.
Yeah, my man he's magical. He opens the back door just randomly, and then he pops out of the closet, jump scares him, and picks him up by the throat and pins him to the wall with a kitchen knife.
Literally.
It doesn't seem physically possible, I'm not gonna lie.
It's the world's strongest knife /
Yeah.
wall combo.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely hits a stud.
Definitely.
This man is like 6 inches off the ground, pinned to the wall. Michael Myers does his little
Tilt
Michael
thing.
Myers head tilt thing.
Admiring his work of art.
And I do think it's hilarious that he goes so hard for this kill on Linda because he walks in a sheet with Bob's glasses on. I'm like, what? My man is showing out for Linda right now. I mean, like for Annie, he just choked her out from behind, but he goes all out for this one.
Here's an alpha zone flex. These are my
She-
fucking glasses now.
She's talking to him, and she's like, "Hey, Bob, like blah blah blah. Where's my beer?"
Are you
And
looking for something?
He's not replying. And she's like, "How about this?" and pulls her tits out.
It's
That's
also
wrong. Hey,
I just
wrong move.
made the connection. It's like when that dude who fucked his sister in the opening scene in the movie put on Michael's mask. Then this dude fucked the whatever this bitch's name is, and then he put on his glasses.
I see what you're saying,
Oh,
dude.
shit.
Oh, Doug. Great.
Doug has
a
figured
fucking
it out.
pull. Fantastic. So, Linda flashes her boobs.
I'm
Bad
smarter
move.
than I look.
Michael is triggered by these.
I
boobs
also
being
love
out.
titties.
Weird.
And she's
I
just
love
sitting there
titties.
looking. She's just standing there looking. At
I love
him.
them.
Doug, shut the fuck up.
She's just standing there, boobs out. He's standing there looking at her, not moving. So she's like, "Yeah, fuck you, dude. I'm gonna call my girl Lori." She gets up, starts talking on the phone. Michael walks up behind her, and she's on the phone. Wraps the phone cord around her fucking throat and starts choking her out. Michael's kind of got he's got a cuck and a choking fetish, for sure.
He's not getting cucked, bro.
Hey,
That's-
I'm pretty sure he's imagining these girls as
That's his
sisters, so he's kind of getting cucked.
What?
Stepsister cuck?
Just accept the fact
I
that
mean,
Michael
the
Myers
other
has a
gr-
cuck kink.
The other girl
He was the first.
The other girl was stuck in the laundry room, so
Yeah.
It all lines up.
He's been watching too much of the hub.
So Lori answers the phone. She thinks she's getting like a sex call from them. It's like, oh, real nice guys. 'Cause she's in this phone like moaning and like choking and shit. But eventually she's
Why
like,
does sex and dying sound like the same thing? That's kind of crazy.
maybe they feel like the same thing. Should we
Because-
start experimenting with death play?
Because one's taking life and one's giving it.
Circle of life.
I think,
It all begins and
then,
ends with a
I think I might experiment with some strangulation stuff.
bro. That reminds me of a scene from Nip Tuck. I'm not gonna get into it right now, but it's pretty fucked up.
Okay.
So, so Lori decides, I need to go check on them. Let's go see if Annie's home. She puts the kids in front of the TV. TV or she puts them to bed. One of the two.
To bed.
And she starts walking up to the house. She's banging on the door. Nobody answers. As she goes around the back, finds that back door open that Michael used his fucking brain power on to open. Bob is no longer pinned to the wall. And Lori starts roaming around this dark-ass room. She thinks they're playing a joke on her. Not.
They're fucking dead.
Yeah, she finds the door to the bedroom. And she walks in the room, and Annie is on the bed, dead.
With Michael's sister's tombstone behind her.
Looking like a grave. Then kind of backs up into a corner, and Bob swings down from the door frame. I don't know.
Like fucking Spider-Man.
This man like is he hanging like an ab cruncher? I don't know what he's hanging
He's
from.
by his ankles.
And swings down, scares her. She then jumps over to the closet where the door opens, and she finds Linda, her other best friend, dead in the closet. This part of the movie is literally just Laurie's no good, very bad day. Just finding friends dead everywhere.
Every single one was fucking 6 feet.
Michael is like barely visible in the doorway behind her. It's a cool shot. Does a stabber. For some reason, misses. This man has his killer accuracy.
It just grazed the iron.
Killer accuracy, no matter what, except with this scene where Laurie's standing completely still in front of him.
I think it's just the fact that he hasn't seen her goods, so he's not fully committed to the kill.
Yeah. That might be what it is. But he slices it on the arm, gets a little piece of her. She runs away, and this initiate final girl circuit. She's off the fucking races, dude. Chases her around, out of the Doyle house. She's screaming for help, banging on doors.
Out of the Wallace's house.
Who's the person where she knocks on their door and they're like, "Yeah, go fuck yourself"?
Well, that's where she goes. She runs and starts banging on doors, and nobody lets her in. They're just like, "Yeah, fuck off." Real pieces of shit. She runs back to the Doyle house, Tommy's house, and hits his ass up. He comes down slow as fuck. Open this door for her. She runs inside. She tells Tommy, "Get the fuck upstairs." Blah blah blah.
Go hide.
Also, if it was me personally, judging by Michael's speed, I would just fucking send it like into town or something. I'd
Just
be
a full
out.
sprint.
Yeah, he's doing a brisk walk at best.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
here's the thing. Michael can teleport.
Yeah, we've already established this man can teleport. You're not getting away. When she's inside, she realizes that the back door is already open? Question mark. He somehow already got inside.
Rip.
Teleportation. And she's crouching down on the couch, and he pops it behind the couch, and she grabs this crochet hook, stabs this man in the neck with the hook. Stab you in the neck with a knife.
Touch it.
he falls over. This man's like
Down for the count.
It's
What are you talking?
It's so bad.
He's planking on the ground.
And she's like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna lay here on the couch now."
Did it.
Yeah.
I killed him.
Loomis, it cuts to Loomis, and he's telling the cops, like, "Hey, I saw this motherfucker in the neighborhood." So start circling around. And Lori tells the kids that she killed him, and it's all good to go now, but he's back up, Obviously, he's not dead.
Right,
She
fucking
locks the
behind
kids.
her.
Yeah, she locks the kids in the bathroom. She hides in the closet. You get get that fucking cool, iconic closet scene where she's in the corner and he's busting through. And she takes a hanger, and, like, straightens it out and jabs him in the eye with it.
Fucking
Her
laser
accuracy-
beam accuracy.
So much better than his.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think
He's
I could
hitting
do
nothing but
that
headshots.
on the first try in a million fucking years.
She takes this hanger. Michael is moving, and she just right in the eye. Maybe she was just aiming her in the face. I don't know. She got lucky. Either way, he drops the knife, so she grabs it, and then she uses his own knife to stab him in the chest. And he fucking down again, blinking outside the fucking the closet door. She comes out. She then drops the knife. Rookie mistake. And she
For the
tells the
second time.
kids. She tells the kids to go run, call the cops. So they run out, and as they're running out, they alert Loomis. He comes up. As this happens, Michael Myers pulls fucking
The Undertaker.
move. He flat on his back, sits straight up. I could hear the fucking bells. Dong. As she stands up, Michael Myers stands up behind her as well. He then puts her in the fucking sleeper hold. And she eventually pulls off his mask. And Loomis walks up the stairs right as that happens and fucking unloads the clip on this dude. Did we get a count on how many bullets that was, Doug? Is that accurate?
I think it was. I wasn't counting, but I think it was 6 shots.
Got him 5 times.
And also, a revolver doesn't have a clip.
Magazine.
Whatever.
Oh, yeah, revolver.
Is he?
Just has
Is
the
it a
gun.
revolver? I wasn't even paying attention to the gun.
It is a revolver.
Just has the drum? Is that what it's called?
The cylinder?
Thank you.
Hey, no problem, man.
He shot him 5 times. The chest.
He probably should have got him in the head, put him down.
I don't think it would have killed him.
Pretty sure a shot to the chest would put anybody down.
Not
Really
this
bad.
motherfucker.
It's Michael.
He takes those shots in the chest, falls off the balcony backwards, and Lori asks him, "Was that the boogeyman?" He says, "As a matter of fact, that was the boogeyman." I look over the balcony, and this motherfucker has dipped. He's no longer there. So just to recap, he took a crochet hook to the neck,
Close
hanger
to the eye.
to the eye, a knife to the chest, 5 bullets to the chest, backwards off a balcony, presumably on his head, and then ran off.
Well, he is, in fact, magic, so.
He's a fucking unit. That's what he is.
Yeah.
And then the last shot is a Halloween theme. Fucking do that shit up, and Michael Myers breathing. So that's it. That was Halloween. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this because I have some thoughts myself. So either one of you, go with it.
Let it rip, Jacob.
I like the movie.
Oh, also
It's-
give me your scores.
Okay. My personal score is gonna have to be 7.5. It's a good movie. It created the slasher horror genre, and I think it's the best one.
Best one.
Yeah.
The best,
I don't know. Are you?
The best
Are
what?
you in?
The best slasher?
Yeah.
If you're include, I mean, some people do and some people don't. If you're including Texas Chainsaw, which I'd argue it isn't a part of the slasher genre, Texas Chainsaw is way better than this.
Yeah.
If you're not, which you probably shouldn't, I think Nightmare on Elm Street's probably better still. But this is not bad.
I like the score's good. The fact that
I
it
mean,
shows
they've
Michael
only
to
got
be
one song, so.
an absolute fucking unit. It doesn't stray away from that at all. That's good. There's no big plot holes other than the fact that Michael can disappear. Yeah.
Plot hole, or he's just Gandalf's son.
Yeah. He's
I
magic.
think he could just teleport.
Movie making score. Based off of the budget and time, Give it
Oh, now
7.
now the score is budget adjusted. God damn.
Well, like
That
look at movies like big budget movies should look a certain way.
Yeah.
This is a low budget movie, so it's fine.
All right.
they couldn't get any big actors. Like the acting in this movie is shit. They couldn't get fucking Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood as Michael.
Oh, that'd
Were
be
they
great.
trying to get Clint Eastwood?
I'm just saying, like they couldn't get big actors or actresses.
Yeah, I mean, they gave us Jamie Lee.
That's it.
God bless him.
They couldn't afford these fantastic actors and actresses. The acting's not great. But yeah, for what they had, they did pretty good. I'm giving it a 7. Movie making.
Doug?
All right. So my score, I'll give it a 5. It's not complete dog shit like I was saying. I'm being a little dramatic, but I mean it's just
You think?
nothing. It's nothing special. I don't know what to say. I mean, the best part about it is the iconic Halloween song, and
And Michael.
I mean, Jamie's not bad, bro.
I mean Michael just doesn't scare me. He's not. Nothing about this movie is scary to me.
Yeah.
This is also
yeah.
the first time I've watched it too, so it's not like I'm desensitized.
I think we're desensitized to horror like this because we've seen Hereditary and shit like that, where little kids get fucking decapitated.
Hmm.
Like, I think when it came out, it was probably terrifying. These days, it takes a little bit more probably to get this generation scared.
Yeah, it just doesn't do anything for me. Like, if I was in this movie, I would fuck Michael up. It'd be crazy.
Dude, this guy took 5 shots to the chest.
Can he take 30 shots to the head, though?
I don't know. In the fucking sequels, he's like an all-knowing being from a fucking cult.
If he 1v1s me and tanks 30 to the head, then hey, I'll let him kill me, to be honest. Movie making score. What'd you give it, Jacob?
7.
I'll give it a 6. It wasn't made like poorly or anything. Just like I said, there's nothing special about it. And the acting is fucking garbage. Garbage. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
It could have been worse. So,
before we roll into Aaron's scores, we're just going to discuss the fact that psychologically, Aaron can't say he doesn't like a movie that is rated higher by the critics because he's mentally ill. I just want to put that out there.
Oh, yeah? I think you'll be shocked then. This movie doesn't do much for me. Like Doug said, it doesn't scare me. I didn't grow up with it, so it's not like it's a nostalgia thing for me. I realize that it's a classic, a horror classic, and I realize that it is critically acclaimed. I don't think it is what people think it is and then say it is. Just viewing it objectively from the outside looking in. It still did establish some major things for the next 2 decades that happened in horror, so got to give that credit. And the acting's not all bad. Jamie Lee and Donald Pleasance. Score's good. Like that. I think everybody likes that, though. So my score is a 7.75.
Whoa. Whoa. We're fucking going into 2 decimal places now?
Oh, yeah, because I thought 7.5 wasn't right, and 8 felt too high.
Oh, fuck me.
So if I want to put 2 decimal places, I'm gonna do it.
Doug, fuck you.
Maybe we should just change our scale to 0 to 100.
This works.
After that, Aaron's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna give this movie a
77.5.
83.628." I just wasn't sure between an 83 and an 84, so
Okay, but like honestly, I was looking at this and I was gonna do it by fives and tens and shit. Like 7.5 felt kind of disrespectful for what it did to the genre. 8 felt like I was saying it was better than of a movie than it actually was, so I settled on 7.75. So that's where my score comes from.
all right.
Standing by it. So I don't think it's an 80+% of a movie. I think Rotten Tomatoes has it high. The critics overvalue a little bit. It's fine. I mean, it's a fun movie. It's one of those movies you can put on and just kind of chill it on. It's not going to freak anybody out, really. For movie making score, I do think it's a little bit higher. I gave it an 8. Score bumps it up a little bit for me. I also think there's some cool shots here. I think there's some cool like music cues, especially like when the bullet runs into him. I like that crazy fucking screeching sound. I like the POV shots. I like it. I think it. I like the closet.
You're a POV kind of guy.
I'm a POV kind of guy.
Respect.
I like the closet scene. I like a lot of shots. I think this movie was made by a director who knew what he was doing. I think John Carpenter did a movie well. I think it's a well-made movie. So there's some things I don't like, but I think overall I give it an 8.
All right, so that's gonna conclude our Halloween episode.
Extravaganza, Halloween squared.
Next week we got a banger for you guys. American Psycho.
Yeah. Great movie. Doug chooses another movie with Jared Leto as a supporting actor. Look, I think you like Jared Leto.
Gotta do what I gotta do, bro. Tune in next week if you want to figure out how mentally ill I am specifically. And yeah, we'll see.
Spoiler, bro. I fucking love this movie.
Same.
I only pick good movies, unlike some people here, but hey, we gotta do what we gotta do.
Good one.
So, also real quick, we now have enough movies. I'm gonna start averaging out scores and giving a scoreboard kind of rundown. Everybody how they have it, and then consensus how we have graded them as a team. I'm going to start posting those on our Twitter, so follow us there at Theater13Pod. Also, if you have any suggestions out there and you want to have an influence in what we say, you can email us at theater13pod@gmail.com. And we would appreciate that as well. Other than that, check out our other episodes. Up until this point, we've done Alien, Fight Club, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Check out our Witcher. And also releasing today on Halloween, we will have a special Ranker movie episode. Check that out if you want to hear our opinions on those. And that's it. I think we'll wrap it up.
Say bye, Jacob.
Bye, Jacob.
Say bye, Douglas.
Later, bitches.